Hi everyone, I'm your host Mary Rose, and you're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. Today I have a special guest joining me in the studio, Jen Morilla. She's here to talk about travel blogging and that journey that she's on. Hi Jen.
Hi Mary.
Thank you for joining me in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
So I fell in love with your Instagram account. Can you tell everyone what it is?
It's The Social Girl Traveler.
So how did you get into travel blogging?
So I've been doing this for about 3 years now. I originally was working at a marketing agency in New York City. I was an account manager, doing the hustle and bustle, and I decided that I really wasn't happy with my life and what I wanted to do or what I was currently doing, and I wanted to do something different. So I kind of set up a plan. I started to really set up an exit plan to get out of what I was currently doing to start travel blogging. And I started in February of 2015, and I just started traveling.
So I know for a fact, like when you make a transition like this, many parents get nervous, they get anxious.
Yeah.
What were your parents' reactions?
Oh my goodness. Well, so I come from a Hispanic family, right?
Right.
And being that my parents are Cuban, they were very like, "What's wrong with you?"
You have a good paying job.
Yeah, you have
What
a
are
good
what are you
good
doing?
salary, you have a good career. I mean, I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's and I have a master's degree.
Oh, you have a master's. What's your master's in?
I got a master's in social entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And, I went back to the, working industry, and I was there for about 3 years, and this came out of nowhere. I mean, to them it was out of nowhere, but for me it was like 8 months in the making. I just really wasn't happy, and I believe that we control 98% of our happiness. So I was like, let me, change my life and do what I want to do. At the time I was single, I had an apartment. I didn't have anything to tie me down, basically.
Right.
So I took my savings and I said, I'm going to do it. Why not?
I remember when because I had a similar situation, graduated school, started working right away. I was a teenager and I worked all the way through high school, college. And I just remember one day being at my job like, I can't do this. So I was like, I quit and I wound up taking a year off to travel the world. And I remember when I did that at that time, everyone said to me, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. Like you're finding yourself. And I guess in my mind, I thought I was supposed to find myself too. But in the middle of my journey, I realized there was nothing to find. I actually just reconnected with myself.
Right.
I rediscovered myself. I remember one day being in Costa Rica and I had no makeup on. I was like, I remember her. That girl that didn't care what people thought, didn't have to have the curl in every perfect place.
Yeah.
So what does travel mean to you? What has it done for you in your life?
That's so funny that you associate Costa Rica when having your curls in your place. I lived in Costa Rica for 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And my hair is naturally curly. I got bigger curls than you, and my hair was like out to here every single day. And I remember the first day I moved to Costa Rica, I bought a blow dryer. Like in my luggage, I bought it with me because I was like, you know what? It's rainy season. When it rains, my hair gets a little frizzy. It'll be all right. Girl, I think I blow dried my hair, and within 10 minutes, my hair was like out to here and it was curly. And everyone was laughing. They were like, Jen, you have natural curly hair. And I was like, yes.
Well, why would you blow dry it in that humidity?
Well, right. Well, that was the last time I ever did it in those 5 months. Traveling for me has definitely changed my life. It has been, so it stemmed from studying abroad. So I went to Pace University in New York City, and I studied abroad for about 6 months in the south of Spain in Sevilla. And that's where I got bit by the travel bug. Because in those 6 months, I started traveling alone, and I went to Paris, and I went to Morocco, and I went everywhere. I went with friends, and I went alone. Went back to university, graduated, and started working. And then when I was working, I would go on vacation. But the fact that I only had 2 weeks kind of like, made me mad. And I wanted, right. And I kind of was at a place where I was like, you know what? I don't want to be here, like plain and simple. And it wasn't, I remember sitting at my desk, and my desk overlooked the Empire State Building, and it was a beautiful sunny day. It was in August. Literally, I'll never forget it. And it was gorgeous. And I remember thinking, like, is this it? I was on a conference call with a client, and she was like yelling. It was a conference call with like 6 other people. She was like yelling at someone about something stupid. And I remember thinking, like, this is it. This is what I have to deal with.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do, And I'm only 25. I'm like, this is not what I want to do. There has to be more to life than this. And they say that saying, right? You're supposed to work for the rest of your life, and you're supposed to love what you do. it shouldn't, I mean, I think that the American mindset of work is like so negative, right? We put such notion around all this work and stuff. Like, you should love what you do. You have to do it for the rest of life. It's the only way you're going to survive, right? It's the only way you pay bills, you pay rent, you get to travel and all that stuff. So traveling for me, I did find myself. I find myself several times. It depends on the types of trip I go on. You know, my most recent trip that I just got back from Nepal, and I did a trek, and that was a very serious trek, and it was intense, very intense. I call it transformational.
But when you say find yourself, what exactly do you mean? Because I thought that too. I thought I was gonna find myself, but I didn't find anything different than what I've always had. Because I feel like as children, we know who we are.
Right.
We know before we start putting these labels on ourselves,
Yep.
like wife, mother, daughter, sister, cousin, you know, I'm whatever, marketing coordinator, whatever it is. When we remove those titles and we remove those labels and we get to just be, I feel like we're just ourselves and we're just reconnected in that. So when you say you found yourself, what does that mean? What does that look like? What was the moments?
It was more of like you said, like recognizing that woman that you were, and coming to terms with it. So, I mean, I guess you can say it wasn't so much finding yourself. It was more like reconnecting with myself for sure.
Right.
There were several moments where I found myself like, you know, be like, wow, this is me, this is my life, this is what I want. And that doesn't happen when you're constantly in the same routine, doing the same thing, the same hustle and bustle. And it's hard, it's very hard. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I could reconnect it with myself, and it's happened several times. And what it looks like for me, I mean, every situation is different. I mean, I've gone through so many life changes. So I mean, it's different.
So for us non-blogging individuals, how do we find like good deals on flights and hotels and things like that? Because I know when you're a blogger, you can use the incentive, well, I have a following, you know, can you give me a discount? We can do that. But if you're not one of those individuals, I know you still have information on how we can save.
Yes, there's several websites. So I use my favorite, it's like my Bible, is skyscanner.com.
Skyscanner.com.
Yes, it is my Bible. And the thing with that, I mean, the more flexible you are with the time that you want to go fly anywhere, the cheaper it's going to be. Doing different stops and layovers and taking advantage of those layovers. Like instead of doing a 4-hour layover, maybe do a 12 and go explore that new city or something like that. Another company that I recently found that I actually used for my upcoming trip is called Travel Valet. No, sorry, not Travel Valet. It's called Trip Valet. You have to edit that out. Trip Valet, a great company. And they have deals for hotels, flights, and they also have packages, like really, really good discounts. But in terms of flights, definitely Skyscanner, 100%. They are my go-to, literally my Bible. For hotels and packages, I would definitely check out Trip Valet. I'm trying to think. The more flexible you are with your traveling, the cheaper it'll be for sure. The more layovers you can do, the cheaper it'll be. Points. Points is huge. A good tip that I really like to give when using points to get more points is a lot of people don't know this, but on your credit cards, you can shop through the credit card.
I've heard this. Some people
like
say
shopping portal.
Right.
And it gets you more points. So for example, quickly, one of the credit cards that I use, United. United Airlines.
Okay, so those airline credit cards are actually
Chase. It's Chase. Okay. So it's Chase United. And what I do is I shop at Target all the time. So I'll go on Target.com, I'll go on United Shopping Portal. And the United Shopping Portal has all these vendors. So they have, which you normally shop at, Amazon, Target, whatever. So I click on Target and it takes me directly to Target.com. Then I go ahead and I shop in Target.com, whatever I need. And then when I go to checkout, I pay with my regular debit card, like no big deal. But what happens is those points from Target.com and from United go back into my United. And sometimes you get double or triple the points. So you don't need to always fly to get points. You can use the shopping portal. I think that's like one of the best ways to gain points quickly. Wow. People don't realize that.
This is like a whole strategy, an ebook lesson in itself.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a quick tip. But yeah, those are probably like 3 really good ways to like save travel. And really like try to get good deals.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm getting the cue that we have to actually take a quick break. I want to say I hope you guys tune back in. We're just going to take a quick break, and Jen is going to tell us all about solo traveling, safety tips, and what it means to be an impact travel influencer. Hope to see you guys.
Does your family need a break from the daily routine?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org and trade in the big screen for the big blue sky by visiting a local park or forest near you.
Hiking, picnicking, swimming, orienteering, climbing, admiring wildlife, or inhaling fresh air may result in heightened creativity, feelings of joy, harmony, satisfaction, and a euphoria that can only be explained as oneness with the natural world. Whoa.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Mary Van Rose, and you're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. Thank you for joining us back. I have Jen, the social girl traveler, with me, and we're talking about travel. So Jen, the whole first half of this conversation, we kind of just talked about flights and how you got involved in traveling. But I want to know, because I know everyone wants to know, how many countries you've been to? What are your favorites? Tell us more about your actual travel journey.
So I've been to a total of 42 countries across 6 continents. My favorite. Okay, so I always get asked this question. I've lived in 5 countries. And when I lived, I mean, I've worked, I have an apartment, and I was there for more than 3 months. And it was Spain, London, Brazil, Australia, and Costa Rica.
Wow.
My favorite is Australia. I love Australia.
I want to go to Australia so bad.
Oh,
It's been on my vision board for the past 3 years.
Oh my God, it's another world. And Bali, Indonesia.
Okay.
I love Indonesia. I'm a surfer. I like to surf.
Okay.
So obviously both countries well known for surfing.
Did you know how to surf before you started traveling the world, or did you learn that on an adventure?
I learned in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
I picked it up, I think it was 4 months after I started solo traveling. I was volunteering at an orphanage in Dominican Republic, and I connected with another influencer who was a surfer, and she was like, hey, you want to come surfing with me? And I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to learn to surf, but because I live here, where am I going to surf? In Manhattan?
Right, this is true.
In the Hudson River? That's not going to work. My mom used to tell me that. She'd be like, you're crazy. What? No. She's like, and I'd be like, Mom, why don't you just send me to Hawaii to learn to surf? And she looked at me like,
okay.
yeah, right away, honey. With sure. Let me pack your bags for you. But yeah, so I've always wanted to surf. It was on the bucket list. And this was one of the first things I did. And the minute I started, I got up and I loved it. I loved it. And I've surfed all around the world.
So my question is, because you mentioned something, you mentioned that you started traveling solo.
Yeah.
Are most of your adventures solo? And if so, why do you feel traveling solo is important?
Oh, 100%. So I think male and female
Okay.
should travel solo at least once in their life, and take more than a 3-day vacation to travel. Start with 3 days because some people really can't be alone.
What would be a place to start with? Because I know a lot of people who have never traveled solo. What would you recommend?
I get questions like that all the time. I always I recommend start 2 things: going to the movies by yourself or eating by yourself. So going to a local restaurant or bar and either sitting at the bar and actually having a meal by yourself and seeing how you feel in your own skin. I think that's so important because not only does it start confidence building on yourself, but then you start being aware of your surroundings, being by yourself, which is huge as a solo female traveler, but in general, because I've met male travelers that travel solo and horrible things have happened to them as well. So I think those 2 things are really important. Also, going to the movies by yourself is really intimidating because people think that people care. People don't care.
I'm the total opposite. I actually like being by myself. I was the opposite as a teenager. My mom was like, you want to go out with your friends? I'm like, yeah, I'll do that on the weekend. Today I just kind of want to be by myself. So when people tell me that they can't be by themselves, I always thought it was interesting. But why do you feel it's important to travel? Why at least one trip?
And then I would recommend, so after you do the movie theater and the dinner, I would say do somewhere in the States, just because you feel comfortable. So maybe go to Florida if you're from New York, or somewhere in North or South Carolina or something like that. Then go international, baby steps. But I feel it is important because you truly get to find yourself and you get to do whatever the heck you want.
Right.
When you travel by yourself, it's your time. So if you don't want to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to a museum, you don't have to. If you want to stay in and sleep, you can. There's nobody telling you what to do. If you want to spend the day answering emails, you can. And I think that when you come from the rat race, When you're constantly in the same hustle and bustle, there is no time to listen to yourself and take that time for yourself. And that's extremely important. And I think that traveling by yourself teaches you how to do that. So that when you come back to this rat race, you remember those moments when you were by yourself and you were in that zone and you were like, this is what I want to do. You can listen to yourself even with the noise.
Right.
Makes
I think that's exactly why I wanted to travel solo. I'm like, I don't want to have anyone else's opinions. I want to I want to know what it's like to wake up in the morning and eat what I want to eat and not like have to negotiate with my friends or what restaurant we're going to. So if anyone follows you on Instagram, they would know that you obviously do a lot of motivational things. Like I love looking at your posts and you have like these long captions. I personally like reading the long captions. I know a lot of people are like, ew, why is it a long caption? It's not like an essay, but I like it.
Thank
I
you.
also love reading your blog. So I know you have another title besides travel blogging. It's Impact Travel Influencer.
Yes.
Please tell me what that is and just share the amazing work you're doing.
So I am a travel blogger, but I don't just go to destinations and talk about, the 10 best things to do in X country. Those things are important, but I feel like anybody can do that. Right. And when I started to travel, I didn't want to just travel. I wanted to do more. I really wanted to I call it playing my part. And so what I started doing is carrying clean water filters to third world countries. Each water filter, and what I do is I have my community help me fundraise the water filters, and then I bring them to these third world countries. And every water filter is for 100 people for up to 5 years.
Wow.
And I've implemented this in 7 countries now.
Which 7 countries?
Oh, okay, so it's Bali, or maybe it was 5. So it's Bali, India, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and I just came back from Nepal. So 7, yeah.
Wow.
7 countries, estimating total of 13,000 lives that I've potentially impacted based on how many water filters I've bought to each country and all that stuff. But the reason that I do this and I call myself an impact travel influencer is because I didn't want to just travel. Right. Going to hotel and staying in 5 stars, I mean, it's nice. Laying on the beach all day is really nice, skydiving and paragliding, that's wonderful. But there's something to be said about going to these countries, staying in these countries, and really seeing where and what life is like in these countries. We come from an area where we kind of have everything. We can get everything we want. If we work hard enough, we can make it happen. Right. And we have that mentality and super, grateful and appreciative towards that lifestyle that we live. Whereas when you go to these countries like Nicaragua and you're in the bush and there's nothing, and you realize that these people are still really happy with nothing, and they're lacking the most basic of necessities like clean water. I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And that people are dying from it, Right. It's 2018 and children are dying actually.
Non-clean water.
There's more to that. There's sanitation and hygiene and everything that comes with that, because it's not just drinking clean water, it's maintaining that cleanliness. And you start to open your eyes and see things a lot differently. And when I first started traveling, I went to Dominican Republic, and that's where I first started to see the impact. And I was like, I really want to do something different. And I felt like, as an influencer, there's so many influencers out there that talk about amazing things, and they do great jobs at what they do. They're very talented. But what if we started talking about stuff that mattered, right?
Right.
Like, what if we really started talking about things that mattered, things that can affect our generation, that we truly influence, right? And I think that's extremely important. And I think it's our duty. I'm 29 years old. I'm single. I don't have children. One day I do want to have children, and I hope that they live a wonderful life, but I also want them to take responsibility for the next generation and the next generation. It's not just about us.
I know. I'm going to share a quick story. I went to South Africa, and I wound up going to this village. And I wound up seeing the prettiest little girl. And I remember we were there to give the kids toys and gifts and just hang out with them for a day. And I remember I sat down and it was just tired. It was hot. And this little girl sits next to me. She says, "Oh, where are you from?" And the cutest little accent. And I looked at her and I was just like, "Oh, the United States." And she's like, "Duh, I can hear that. What part?" I was like, "Oh, New York."
Sassy pants.
Yeah, I was like, "New York." And she was like, "New York City?" And her eyes just lit up. And I was just like, "Yeah, New York City." And we started talking. But that moment made me realize that the world is so knowledgeable about where we are and where we come from, that when you're going to these places, how knowledgeable are you?
Yeah.
Because in that moment, she taught me, look at her. She knows exactly where I'm from, but how much can I say about her area? I'm just here on vacation and then I leave. So I think it's important as travelers that we're conscious about the place we're going. And that conversation really made me become a conscious traveler and like making sure that I'm giving my dollars to local businesses and not just like chain hotels and things like that. What are some ways that maybe someone may not make, like, let's say they're not carrying water filters, but what are other ways that we can contribute to the countries that we are traveling to?
That's a great question. And I mean, you said it right there. The fact that you are contributing to local businesses is massive. The majority of what runs a country is tourism. And part of that is the businesses that are in these countries that we associate ourselves with. So as much as you love your mocha frappuccino from Starbucks, don't go to the mocha frappuccino in Guatemala. Like, don't get that. Get it from the local cafe, because I promise that those dollars will pay those employees and will pay the electricity and the rent to keep that cafe, to keep that family running. And it's a domino effect. And start thinking of it like that, shopping at local markets. It's funny because a lot of the clothes that I wear, I get from around the world. And I'll get people asking, like, oh, where'd you get that shirt? And I'm like, well, this is a flea market in Thailand. Like, you're not going to get it in Forever and 21. You're not going to get it in H&M. Great stores. But it's just, and I think that's all part of playing your part and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with staying in a luxury hotel. And by all means, people, you work for your money, you enjoy your vacation as you please. But if you can take a few days or a few hours to go shopping at a local market, like, do it. It's usually there's amazing stuff at these places.
So this has been awesome. I want to take another quick break for our audience back at home. Hopefully you guys will tune back in. We're going to actually play a global trivia question. Let's see how good Jen does.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Does your family need a break from the daily routine?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org and trade in the big screen for the big blue sky by visiting a local park or forest near you.
Hiking, picnicking, swimming, orienteering, climbing, admiring wildlife, or inhaling fresh air may result in heightened creativity, feelings of joy, harmony, satisfaction, and a euphoria that can only be explained as oneness with the natural world. Whoa.
Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching Healthy Living in the Bronx. Right now, we're about to do some trivia. Ready, Jen?
I'm ready.
So the first question is, which city is the only city in the world situated on 2 continents? A, Paris, B, Cairo, or C, Istanbul?
See, Istanbul?
Yes, that's right. Istanbul in Turkey is the city which sits on the Asian and European continent.
All right, nice.
So look at you.
What do I get for winning these? You're getting them right.
We'll talk about it later. Talk to the producers. So which countries share, question number 2, which countries share the longest border in the world? A, Mexico and the U.S., B, U.S. and Canada, or C, China and India?
Ooh. I want to say it's America and Mexico. Or it's either China and India.
So Mexico or the United States or China and India?
Yeah, I think it's Mexico and United States.
Actually, it's B, the United States and Canada.
Really?
The border between the United States between the United States of America and Canada is the longest. It's over 8,800 kilometers.
Wow. Okay. Well then.
Question number 3. Which desert is the biggest desert in the world outside of the polar region? Is it A, the Sahara, or B, the Great Victorian Desert?
You gotta come up with better questions. We're gonna say A.
Yes. Okay. See? Okay, guys, make sure we give her a good pie for this, okay? The Sahara Desert is the biggest desert in the world, and it stretches over an area which is almost as big as the United States, and it still grows every year. In fact, question number 4. Which is the longest continental mountain range in the world? Is it A, the Himalayas, or B, the Andes?
A, the Himalayas.
No, it's actually the Andes in South America.
Oh my goodness, and I just came from the Himalayas. Dang it.
The Andes in South America are the longest mountain range, stretching over 7,200 kilometers.
Oh man, I'm doing
From the
terrible.
north to south. No, I think you're doing good. Don't worry. What was it? How many was that? Wrong or right?
That was 2 wrong and 2 right.
Okay, I'll make sure we'll keep track. Okay. Which is the largest country in size in terms of area? Is it A, India, B, Russia, or C, Australia?
Ooh, that's rough because it's either between Russia or Australia, right? Ooh. Wait, what's the question?
So what is the largest country in terms of size and area?
I'm going to go with Australia just because it's my favorite, but I could be really wrong.
Is actually Russia.
Oh.
Russia's massive. You ever seen the global map?
Yeah,
Why does that thing
Russia
take
is
up all the
huge.
space?
I know, but so is Australia.
Right. So, last question. Which country in Europe has the biggest number of inhabitants? Is it A, Spain, B, Germany, C, France, or D, Scotland?
What is it? Wait,
So
say the country again.
Which
Spain?
country in Europe has the biggest number of inhabitants? A, Spain, B, Germany, C, France, or D, Scotland?
It's definitely not Scotland. Ooh. Can we phone a friend?
Right.
Can I phone a friend? I'm going to go with Germany.
You're absolutely correct.
Yay! Finally!
See? Germany has the biggest population in Europe. More than 82 million people live in this country, and I think it's probably growing.
Yeah.
And I know I said it was the last one, but I want to do one more because
Okay.
I like this question.
Okay.
So, which is the largest metropolitan city in the world by population?
Uh-oh.
This should be a good one. This should be an easy one. A, New York, B, Tokyo, C, Johannesburg, or D, Paris?
I think it's Tokyo. Am I right?
That is absolutely, I knew you were going to get that one. Tokyo in Japan is the largest city by population. More than 37 million people live there.
Wow, that's a lot of humans.
You know, that's one place I haven't been yet, and I definitely want to make sure I get there too.
Oh yes, Tokyo for sure.
So I want to say thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. And I want to say thank you to all the viewers at home for watching, and I'm so excited. And don't forget, guys, if you want to know more about Jen, where can they find you?
They can find me at thesocialgirltraveler.com. It's my website. Or they can find me on Instagram at thesocialgirltraveler or Facebook at thesocialgirltraveler, but everything is The Social Girl Traveler.
Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you on the next episode of Healthy Living in the Bronx. Bye, guys.